Psychological manipulation and abuse. The arsenal of toxic and narcissistic individuals. A deep dive into the world of trauma-inducing individuals and the games they play. By A.C. McNeil. Copyright 2025. By the Mental Strength Academy. Preface. Breaking the fourth wall here and showing my own vulnerability. I have been on the receiving end of more relationships like this than I would like to admit. We are not perfect people, and we all are flawed in our own ways. I hope this video will be able to open closed eyes to the awareness that it is not our fault, and you are not alone. If I can even help one person in psychoanalyzing my own past, and in doing so show them that it's not their fault, and they can and need to run far away. Then I opened my own personal life up, and in doing so saved one soul from living in constant torture. Not all wounds are visible. Toxic, narcissistic and manipulative individuals employ a specific and damaging set of psychological tactics to gain and maintain power and control over their intimate partners. These behaviors systematically erode the victim's sense of reality, self-worth and autonomy, leading to emotional and psychological abuse that can cause PTSD and last a lifetime. The manipulation is often covert, making it difficult for the partner to recognize it and escape. Or it is blame-shifting or gaslighting, making their partner always feel guilty and not worthy, so the manipulator can keep total control over their partner's emotions. The core strategy: avoiding blame and maintaining a false self-image. The foundational motivation for many manipulative tactics is the toxic individual's profound fear of accountability and their desperate need to maintain a grandiose, flawless self-image. They cannot tolerate criticism or admitting their own fault, as this shatters their fragile ego. Never taking blame, projection and blame shifting. This is one of the most defining characteristics. The manipulator's actions are never their own fault in their mind. They are always a reaction to something the partner did. Projection. The manipulator accuses the partner of their own negative traits, feelings, or actions, often trying to make their partner feel guilty and shame. Example: a partner who is insecure, has anger issues, or frequently lying will repeatedly accuse the victim of being unfaithful, unworthy, or untrustworthy, keeping their partner in a constant mindset of guilt and shattering their self-worth and self-esteem. Blame shifting. Any conflict or negative consequence is immediately redirected back to the victim. Example: I wouldn't have yelled at you if you hadn't provoked me, or this whole argument is your fault because you're too sensitive. The DAVO tactic is the acronym for Deny, Attack and Reverse Victim and Offender. A common, intense defensive pattern when confronted. The manipulator will deny the accusation, attack the accuser's credibility and reverse the roles, making themselves the victim and their partner the offender. 1. Bringing up past problems, weaponizing history. Manipulators often strategically use the partner's past mistakes, insecurities, or even resolved conflicts as a tool for diversion and emotional leverage. The diversionary tactic. When the victim brings up a current issue caused by the manipulator immediately counters by bringing up a completely unrelated, long-past mistake the victim made. This successfully derails the original conversation and forces the victim into a defensive position about an old issue. Creating guilt and shame. They use past events to instill continuous guilt, reminding the partner that they are fundamentally flawed and should be grateful the manipulator is still with them. This is a mechanism of control through indebtedness. Advanced tools of psychological abuse. Beyond avoiding fault, toxic individuals utilize a sophisticated arsenal of tactics to systematically undermine their partner's psychological stability. 1. Gaslighting, the single most destructive tactic, named after the 1944 film Gaslight. It is designed to make the victim doubt their own memory, perception, and sanity. Methods: persistent denial of events that clearly happened. That never happened, you're making it up. Twisting facts, or minimizing the partner's feelings. You're too sensitive. You're crazy. Impact: the victim loses trust in their own reality, becoming increasingly dependent on the manipulator for validation and interpretation of events. 1. Isolation, a key maneuver to increase the partner's reliance on the manipulator and eliminate outside perspective. Methods: criticizing or insulting the partner's friends and family, creating conflict that forces the partner to choose, or expressing intense jealousy to justify monopolizing the partner's time. Impact: the victim is cut off from a crucial support network that could validate their experience of abuse, making it harder to recognize the manipulation or leave the relationship. 1. The cycle of idealization and devaluation. Love bombing. The relationship is often characterized by extreme highs and lows, which is a powerful bonding and control mechanism. Love bombing. At the start or after a conflict, the manipulator overwhelms the partner with excessive attention, flattery, gifts, and declarations of love. This creates a state of intense attachment and a false hope that the ideal partner will always return. Devaluation. Once the partner is emotionally hooked, the manipulation begins. The narcissist begins to criticize, belittle, and withhold affection, creating confusion and a constant need for the victim to work to win back the idealized version of their partner. 1. Triangulation and playing the victim. These tactics introduce a third party or a persona to manipulate the dynamic. Triangulation: bringing a third person, an ex, a co-worker, a friend, into the relationship dynamic to create insecurity, jealousy, or competition. Example: my ex would never question me like this, or everyone at work thinks I'm a saint, but you always tear me down. Playing the victim. When confronted, the manipulator portrays themselves as the most wronged, hurt, or misunderstood person. They use pity to gain sympathy and deflect attention from their harmful behavior. Example: they may use crocodile tears or exaggerated emotional displays to make the partner feel guilty for even bringing up the issue. Conclusion: the psychological toll. These traits and tools are not isolated incidents. They are a pattern of coercive control that constitutes psychological abuse. The constant use of blame shifting, weaponizing the past, and reality distortion, like gaslighting, breaks down the victim's sense of self-worth and critical thinking. The goal is a state of learned helplessness and psychological dependency, where the partner's well-being is entirely tied to the manipulator's approval, ensuring the manipulator's continued control and supply. If you are concerned about any of these patterns in your own relationship, please know that you are not alone, and resources are available to help. Would you like me to provide information on resources for recognizing and getting support for relationships involving manipulation and narcissistic abuse? 1. 10 additional manipulative traits and actions. Beyond blame and past mistake weaponization, toxic, narcissistic and manipulative individuals employ a wide range of tactics. A prevalent tactic is gaslighting, a sinister form of psychological abuse where the manipulator makes the victim question their own memory, perception, or sanity. They frequently use phrases like, "That never happened," "You're imagining things," or "You're too sensitive," to confuse and destabilize the victim's grasp on reality. In the initial stages, a tactic known as love bombing is deployed, an intense, overwhelming show of affection, compliments, gifts, and attention. This is designed to quickly gain the partner's trust and adoration, creating a powerful emotional bond that makes it significantly harder for the victim to leave later on. However, after the love bombing phase, the abuse begins with devaluation and criticism. The manipulator subtly and not so subtly belittles, criticizes, and insults the partner's achievements, appearance, intelligence, or worth. This chips away at the partner's self-esteem, making them feel dependent on the manipulator's approval. This often goes hand in hand with isolation, where the manipulator gradually separates the partner from their friends, family, and support network, leaving the partner solely reliant on them for emotional and social connection. To create instability and competition, they use triangulation. This involves introducing a third party, an ex-partner, a friend, or a colleague, into the dynamic to generate jealousy or insecurity, keeping the partner off balance and desperate for the manipulator's exclusive attention. When the manipulator is displeased, they may use the silent treatment or stonewalling, a form of passive-aggressive emotional abuse where they refuse to communicate or acknowledge the partner for prolonged periods. This is a punishment tactic intended to create anxiety and force the partner into desperate attempts to reconcile. Another common tactic is guilt-tripping, which involves manipulating the partner's conscience by making them feel responsible for the manipulator's happiness, anger, or even self-harm threats to coerce them into compliance. If the partner does manage to leave, the manipulator may attempt hoovering, a manipulative effort to suck the partner back into the relationship. This is characterized by feigned remorse and false promises of change, which often cease once the partner is back under their control. Finally, to control the narrative and minimize fallout, they often engage in smear campaigns, spreading lies and distorted versions of events to mutual contacts to damage the partner's reputation and credibility. Underlying all of these actions is a pervasive pattern of boundary violation, where the manipulator demonstrates a fundamental disregard for the partner's personal boundaries, needs, and feelings, thereby asserting total dominance and control over the partner's life. In summary, the relationship dynamics orchestrated by a narcissistic and manipulative partner are less a partnership and more a calculated campaign of control. Hopefully, this video has demonstrated how such individuals systematically employ a range of insidious tactics. From the initial intoxicating phase of love bombing and mirroring to the sustained devaluing process characterized by gaslighting, subtle critiques, and isolation. By strategically breaking down their partner's self-worth through these emotional abuses and then offering intermittent selective praise or temporary relief, the building up phase, they cement a traumatic bond. In fact, the continuation of breaking their partner down, only to lift them back up, causes traumatic damage to the mental health of the victim in the relationship and can lead to a Munchausen type of mindset in the victim of a narcissistic or manipulative relationship. This cyclic pattern ensures the victim remains dependent and constantly seeking the manipulator's approval, effectively creating a state of psychological subjugation where the narcissistic partner maintains absolute dominance. Ultimately, recognizing this destructive breakdown and build-up cycle is crucial, as it illuminates the stark reality that these relationships are not founded on mutual love, but on a deliberate, systematic effort to usurp and weaponize intimacy for the sole purpose of control.